Halo.
Get this started.
Kita nonton dulu guys hari ini.
Thank you very much, guys. Again, love get the jackets with the casters.
The walk and talk. Love
Yeah.
the walk and talk.
It's so much swagger.
Yeah, it's
The opening ceremony has changed Mr. Man of Mitch. Like,
there's a lot of aura coming out of it right now, I'm not gonna lie.
Harusnya aman.
A lot of torque in that match.
all right, well, it's
cukup
time to
kita
get us to
nonton
our
aja
first
dulu.
matchup of the day. It is
PRX
PRX
versus
and Sentinels, and let me
Sentinel
tell
ya.
y'all, you know, we had
Mainnya jam
UEG
4 sih,
Gen G
10 menitan
earlier.
lagi,
I
cuman
was like,
nggak
I don't think this
kita
could be
berdua
top.
aja.
This is probably the best way to top it again. And unfortunately, it's in an elimination match. We're only going to get to see them once. The stakes can't be higher, big time.
I mean, it's one
JJ.
of the most hyped matchups you could possibly say in Valorant. Both of these teams,
Jason.
massive fan bases, huge amounts of support, and have both been internationally successful
Ilya.
now. Great names across both sides, huge firepower, big name coaches.
Patrick.
You cannot ask for more from a Valorant competition.
Yeah, PRX looking to run it back of what they did to Sentinels at
Lees,
Toronto.
Callies.
A 2-0 on there. And Sentinels, they want to be able to like get their woes out. They want to get revenge on PRX in this matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that PRX are expecting. I think that we also heard it from themselves that they're performing the way they probably didn't expect. They thought that they were going to be tired after winning Toronto, and I don't think any of us would have kind of like blamed them with how short every turnaround is being. But we also heard it from themselves. It's getting in the server. It doesn't matter that we didn't prag. We're so ready to take on these teams.
Yeah, for me, I'm curious to see the difference now because PRX have had a couple days to prep now. They'll have a couple times, you know, they can watch these matches, know what Sentinels are going to do, but Sentinels are just coming off a hot win against PRX, where they absolutely stomped another Pacific team. So is it momentum that's going to come out on top, or is it that little bit of extra prep time?
Yeah, well, remember that in Pacific, it was RQ that were champs, Gen G that made it on in through second place. It was a different road for PRX to qualify, so let's take a listen in to the road to EWC for PRX.
Hello and welcome back to EWC. I'm Tombiz and of course I'm joined by Something and Forsaken. Are you guys good? Enjoying yourself here?
All good. Yeah, all good. Jet lag a bit, but all good.
Well, I wanted to ask a little bit about the PRX train. You went from
Sebenarnya pengen pakai
0-3
PRX ya.
all the way to winning
Gue
Toronto.
nggak punya Cak.
Is it still going? Has it become a plane, a rocket ship, or is it still just on the tracks?
It's still on the track
You sure?
until
on the track, nice.
until champions.
Until what happens at champions?
Oh, never know.
I almost got you.
Until the season ends, you know.
But I want to say, you guys weren't favorites going into Toronto. I don't think most people expected you to do exactly what you did. Do you think this event will now be
Menang
tougher?
Master
Because I think you're going to
Toronto.
be a target for a
Apakah
lot of teams.
PRX
Okay, we
akan
need to beat
menambah
PRX
piala
rather
yang
than
mereka
look at
bawa
a team maybe we could beat already.
I think it's gotta be
ke Toronto?
tougher.
Mungkin nggak yang kedua itu
because, like you said,
piala
I think people
EWC.
now
Sport
wants to
World
beat
Cup.
us.
For sure, because we are the best and they also want to kind of like feel it, you know.
They're just waiting for something to play into their open arms. Something!
Untuk memancing
For you guys, what do you think has been the main thing for you getting back to the top where you should be?
We have like role where we put like the role on a different role. Like for example, for me, I'm kind of like hype man for the team, so that the vibe is like good when we're playing on the match, and Batman as well. He's been like motivating the team a lot, and yeah, I think we just like trust the role, trust the process, you know, so that we can play better on the match.
After we didn't qualify to Bangkok, we took like 1.5 weeks of the rest.
Yep.
Then we back to Korea. Then we just grind all the way like for 2 months before stage 1.
So I wanted to ask this to you.
Gue abis ini pengen palo juga.
MVP at the last
Level
event.
dulu gue.
heard
Masih
there's
level
also
18 sama
maybe
sekalian
like
lihat
a-
naik market.
Cash prize for being MVP at this event. So are you looking for the back-to-back?
Like cash prize.
I heard some rumors. I heard some
Momen
rumors. That's what I'm
momen
going to
mereka
say.
angkat
There might be a
piala
prize for being
Valorant
MVP.
Master
I mean,
Toronto
for
gila.
me,
Itu
it doesn't matter as long as my team win, you know. I don't
okay.
really need
haru
the
banget
MVP.
kemarin gue sampai
Obviously,
nangis.
along this journey, the fans
Nah,
have been
perjuangan
crazy.
mereka itu loh
I think
kayak
you've had so much support. So
lalu
coming into
juara 2,
EWC,
juara 2,
is there
juara
anything you
3.
guys would like to say to them about like what you're about to do at this event, what the
I
expectations should
think
be?
we're gonna bring chaos into EWC now, and hopefully you guys keep believing the trend, you know.
PRX do it all!
Momennya.
It is always an absolute pleasure to talk to both of you, and of course, best of luck.
Mereka
in the
mainnya
tournament.
sekarang di Arab,
We'll see you soon.
Saudi Arabia.
Thank you.
EWC 2025.
Thanks, Tom. Great to hear from the PRX guys, but they're up against a big opponent here in Sentinels, one of the giants of Americas, and the hype train. So I think it's like the hype train against the train for PRX that hasn't stopped yet. And speaking of not stopping, they got here safely thanks to our friends over at Jameel Motorsport. You need to make a deal, go to Jameel. As Sentinels with their fans, they have their super fans here as well. Rob Moore was sitting there with them, cheering them on the B stream last time, and now they have the opportunity to do something huge here against PRX.
I think it's also the things that they've overcome throughout this year. Every time that they've gone to an international, they only won against the Chinese teams. And funny enough, they open their match here, they lose. They go then on to win against another Chinese team. You know, it feels like following the same thing. But yesterday against TRX, especially the men that you're seeing on your screen, and I would say throughout the entirety of the year, what a tournament, what a year now it is having in Sentinels.
Yeah, in this last match against DRX, he had a 1.72 rating on fate. That is obscenely high. And not only that, but he shuts down 1.73.
No, he had a plus 20.
And plus 23. Yeah, it's insanity, the numbers that this guy's putting up. But then he also went 8-1 in duels.
Tapi itu bukan lawan Sentinel, lawan Wolf itu.
Proficient duelist in APAC, right?
So
I mean, he's like, you can't play down how small that is. Hyunmin absolutely farms over in Pacific, consistently putting up insane numbers, and for Narrate to be besting him in such a dominant fashion really does speak to his such high quality as a player.
Yeah, loving those stats there, again, in the top 10 in most of those categories. However, we have an interview standing by in just a second with his opponent, Forsaken, and let's take a listen now.
I am here with Sentinels. Zekin, yesterday you guys had a really dominant match against DRX yesterday, and you know that's looking very promising. What finally clicked?
I think our communication was just really, really good yesterday. We had a nice long talk after the XLG match because of how close it was. We thought we could be a lot better than that, and I think we fixed a lot of mistakes and played really well that day.
Nice. Well, the last time you guys played PRX was over in Toronto. It ended up being a 2-0 PRX score. Do you think the things that happened yesterday is what's going to help you
jadi pembalasan dari tim Sentinel ke PRX yang kemarin?
I definitely think we've improved since the last time we played them, so it should be a nice match.
Okay, all right. Well, I have a question from the Sentinels Pinoy fans. Do you know what Pudots is?
No, I don't.
All right, Sen fans, you know what to do. Send him a link and how to do the dance. And one last thing, you've met Patman?
Yes.
Do you have any message you want to send out to him?
I will see you in Champs Finals, and also let's play basketball soon. Thank you.
Nice. Well, back to you guys.
That's right, multi-Pinoy pride there with Zekin. I'm sure he knows how to do the chop.
In microphone.
Like a couple of the basic
Check.
here. We're gonna have a big dance. So final thoughts here before we get into this huge first knockout match.
I know that Celsius wanted to go against DMEA. If you really want to take them home, you first need to defeat the current champion. So good luck, Sentinels.
Yeah, I think if Sentinels want to win this one, it's going to have to be Narrate really stepping up, trying to deny the duelist of being and something. And that's just going to be so hard. Yeah, you did it against one duelist. Can you just...
I think that's a big question. Sentinels showed great promise, great firepower against DRX, but PRX is an incredibly different style, right? So you have to adapt. It's going to feel very different in the server. They're going to be running at you a lot faster than a team like DRX were.
Kakuga, I'm going to ask you a map question. Where do you want them to go for map number 1, where you feel like you're going to get the most fireworks from both teams?
I absolutely love Lotus. I mean, I expect PRX to just be PRX, you know, to just be extra aggressive. Constantly looking for that chaos, those improvised duels that only look improvised when you're on the outside, because for them it literally looks like they have everything under control. And I
Kecilan nggak sih suara ininya?
To all those micro eyes that look so in the moment.
Drake, final thoughts here. 20 seconds before we go. Who needs to be the key player for Sentinels to get the win, Mr. NA?
It's got to be Narrate. It's got to be Narrate. And it's going to be tough to shut down the double duelist and tough to shut down Forsaken.
All right, it is Sentinels. It is PRX. One of the biggest matches in all of Valorant. It is our first knockout match here. Who will move on? Who will go and get crushed?
Jadi kalau kalah langsung pulang, bukan double elimination. Here we go. Esport World Cup. PRX versus Sentinels in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Make the crowd Wah, keren banget stage-nya. Oh, itu trofinya.
8 teams remain. They've all battled through the pressure, noise, and expectation. And now they are just one win away from the semi-finals. One loss away from a flight out of here.
This is where all dreams either crack or crystallize. Every clutch matters, every mistake could be fatal. It's quarterfinals at Valorant at the Esport World Cup, and it's all about eliminations now.
4 spots up for grabs, of course, the vital club championship points. That $1.2 million prize pool. There's no
$1,2 juta prize pool.
To save for later.
Absolutely. No nerves, no second chance. So how about we bring out our teams? For the first team, it's the Masters champions are undefeated in Riyadh. Here comes the Kings of Chaos. It's PRX.
PRX. Let's go. Siapa yang di depannya? Davai. Pak Ci, Uncle.
This stared-down elimination and rose from that lower bracket is NA's Titans, Sentinels!
Lagi besok lagi. Emang gitu ya konsepnya ya? 3-nya jersey, 2-nya pakai hoodie.
The quarterfinals of Valorant at the Esports World Cup 2025 begin.
Alex ke nol.
The international defending Titans up against the North Americans. This should be an exciting battle down on the stage. Welcome to the playoff stage of the Esports World Cup, and the stakes could be crushed. And a deeper run that both of these teams will so desperately want. I have to say, coming into this though, Tom, I think PRX are the clear favorites.
Yeah, they definitely come in as favorites. I think the Sentinels this tournament have had some sort of shakier moments, whereas although PRX in the best of one, they struggled a little bit, they still went through relatively plain sailing. I think the fun thing about this matchup, though, is going to be that second map, because obviously it's a map that I think the Sentinels have been fantastic on for a very long time, but they are picking into a map that PRX are 5-0 on over the last few months. So they are literally going, okay, this is a ground you've beaten us on at the previous event, and we think that we can come back and defeat you. So I think it's going to be a really fun series for that matter, and I do think Sentinels are going to be here looking for revenge. Bear in mind, in this matchup, they are one of the clubs. They are the team that is fighting for something much bigger, a huge prize pool worth millions and millions of dollars. And of course, PRX are not going to want to let them just, oh yeah, you know, you guys go on ahead. Like, we're only playing for $1.25 million. Of course, they're wanting to beat the big, and an opportunity to go back to back international events, which, well, correct me if I'm wrong, I think there's only like one team that's ever done that.
Yeah, it's a prestigious group, let's say that. And for PRX, you mentioned, yes, they're
Let's go, PRX.
Sentinels, they've already hit that top 8, already allowing their squad or achieving, I suppose, the minimum goal. But for these teams, it's bigger than that. Nobody's looking to be number 8. No one's even looking for top 4. This is all about the trophy at the end of the day, taking that big cash prize, maybe even shooting for the MVP, and you won't get that if you go out top 8.
Yeah.
Sentinels certainly have the crowd behind them.
Well, they showed the interview I did with Forsaken, and his eyes definitely lit up when he was like, cash prize for MVP? Okay, I mean, you know, I can get myself a bracelet at the last one and some money at this one. I'm not going to complain, but I also think there's one other thing, and I'm looking at Zelsis. I saw his face.
PRX win. Let's go. Let's fucking go, man.
That's the happiest I've ever seen a human being. He was having so much fun down on that stage, and I think if he gets to go up against the team and one of the teams that beat them at the last event, take their key and crush it in front of their very eyes, that might be the best moment he's had probably this year. So I think that realistically there is a lot on the line here. Both teams, obviously, I think if they were on opposite sides of the bracket, we could see them meeting in the final. Sentinels have proven themselves to be a competitor at that point. Now,
seperti biasa ya. PRX ya.
You're going to favor PaperX. This is one where okay, they have losses here and there to the likes of a Gen G or a Fnatic in very close runs, but they are very strong on this map. Whereas on the other side of things, you kind of understand why they've gone for the punish pick. Sentinels losing it to PBL, losing it to Fnatic, losing it to BOG. It's definitely not been one of their stronger maps, but it does give someone like Kaplan room to work with. And if there's anybody in this tournament and looking at coaching staff that I have faith in to be able to adapt, it is Kaplan.
Oh, wow. Just disrespect thrown towards Aang and Zeiss. We'll bring that up later when we see them. As we get into this quarterfinal, I am excited because these teams, they have a history. Trading blows.
Hey, bagus nih buat ini. Senyum-senyum gini nih.
BO5. More recently, though, with this roster, most importantly for PaperX, they were the ones to take that W. Now, if you thought Zelsis looked happy crushing that key before, you can only imagine how much more joy it will bring him to have that added taste, that hint of revenge to it.
Berapa layar itu?
Timer in game ticking away. I see fist bumps on the stage, and I see Zelsis locked in a divided crowd. Soon we will know which way the pendulum swings. As you said, Tom, PaperX favored to start. Potential 2-0 with the sunset pick. If it was a mistake for Sentinels, we don't want to see them start out slow here.
Yeah, and I think one of the most exciting things about this initial matchup is going to be that jet battle.
Langsung aja Davai pakai sheriff di sini. Ini buat main buat tuh. Something langsung maju. Something iya kawan. Langsung. Dapat. Gila. Gila.
It looked like Sentinels going in the right direction. They had the troops for an immediate battle, but they have lost out, and Davai on the board very early with a triple. That's a little momentum, wind in the sails for PaperX.
Langsung satu Davai nih. 1, 2, 3.
He's a player you don't want to see the fire lit under early on.
Yeah, I think that was one of the main things I really enjoyed for them when it came to Toronto, was the fact that that MVP was up for grabs for pretty much anybody all the way through that tournament. They had so much depth in terms of the individual brilliance. Now the same can be said for both sides. Fast pace and already Dink on something. 3 sheriffs actually invested in here for PaperX, so there is some danger here.
Yeah, there's definitely weaknesses, and these close range fights, players flooding through that wall. Pistols all around.
Ya, Byron loh, bye loh kalian loh.
So early would be a huge blow to PaperX in terms of
Juan dua, yuk bisa yuk.
They still have their 2 rifles. That's the benefit of the 3
Juan balet. Nice, satu lagi, ayo. Naratenya ada di tengah tuh. Juan balet juga.
Has got it to do again, but with a classic in his hand, 45 HP. The only thing going for him is that he has the spikes.
He's got time to play with. 45
seconds.
Both players have been spotted pushing together, so chances are,
berarti masih saya ini ya, something lagi. Kan sama pet.
There's no opportunity to find any weapon. Even a sheriff won't be possible.
30 seconds left.
And a bullet of that Guardian would be enough to put him down. In fact, it's going to be a solo swing, a little bit risky from Patman, but at this sort of range, wasn't too much of a problem. Extra credits but still a ridiculous amount to generate to do.
Really important though that he swung early. They know that he's towards main. Such an open plan could put questions in your mind, but now Jing will be holding these smokes, waiting for the players
Langsung dikasih gitu aja.
kabur.
Kabur.
Thinking that they were trying to
Gak usah di kill Naruto-nya, biarin gak usah di kill, gak usah di kill.
from Patman, there was no need.
Biar gak ada duit
Go
mereka.
through to the next round. 2-0
Masih nggak beli tuh.
for PRX.
It's kind of unfortunate for Sentinels, because normally you'd look at a round like this, you go, okay, you've invested barely anything into it. You've got 3 kills in the plant. You go, okay, you probably caused some cost. But you haven't. They can easily buy back into those rifles if they want, keeping the 2 guns that they had. And at least, okay, you've got those sort of extra credits.
Nice.
But realistically,
OP dong ini orang.
actually is going to be
Jelas.
investing into that operator. Same as the pistol, early pressure, but this time Narrate has a drone.
And that annoying smoke. I've seen it cause many problems here on Icebox, but something staying aggressive with Patman by his side presents danger, and Narrate goes running right into it. The smoke goes down in mid here.
Dapat satu.
Usually going to be blocking out a...
Nice banget.
The orb was up.
Something
just
dari orange dia nembak.
through it. Of all the rounds to come in with a
Like
play
under
like
two.
this, Sentinels just investing their economy. They wanted to try to cause some questions on middle, smoke off a turret. Well, 5v3, a big, major uphill battle for the attackers now.
And because of this, a bit
Banyak
more
something
passive
dapat-
majority,
yang dapat
only
pengaruh.
really Forsaken
Satu satu.
in an aggressive position. But need to be
Dapat.
careful, has the support
Nice.
to buy, and Zelsis maybe caught sleeping to the wheel, wasn't expecting to be swung from there. The paranoid goes to deal with him.
Wah, langsung kayak
Doesn't manage to
gitu.
find a single
Nice banget
The
Jason.
only one where any damage has been done is where there was so much advantage in weaponry for PRX. When it's been an equal playing field, the pistol in round number 3, they've both been flawless.
Yeah, that is not a good sign. And of course, the
Pas
value
banget
of this off early with that pick was calculable. But the second, he just caught an angle as the orb went up. And then, of course,
Jadi,
seeing that Defy was on that
kebiasaan.
left side of the site, they try to pressure him.
Nggak pas padahal blind omen susah.
They're not
Kabur aja
accounting
jangan sampai
for
kena.
Forsaken. He hadn't got a chance to claim any scalps, but now he's got 2 on the board. Sentinels left with very weak weapons. They go for stingers across the board, and that's a
Nggak
big
dapet.
danger for something. He
Oh,
gets
nice.
out of there. Look at the cover.
Nice backup.
It's beautiful. Jing up top.
2,
Forsaken going through the
3,
wall is
4,
risky, but
4.
gotta take
Satu lagi,
it
ayo.
now, and he's easy.
Nice Jing.
Round again for PRX.
Lolos round 5 sekarang tanpa kalah 4-0.
And the real danger is the more this happens, the more confident PRX will get. You already see that they had that sort of early stack up towards this A side, but they are just swinging through their own utility, playing around the smokes. You can see the jump up at the end
Kayak
into the opponent's smoke. They don't care
nggak kayak
what
biasanya ya.
Sentinels are doing. They don't care what sort of counter may be coming in.
Fokusnya tinggi
They are
banget ya.
confident in their own ability, and you can see why. Only 3 of them have died so far.
That is a ridiculous stat line to look at for Sentinels, at least. They did only have the stingers in the previous. The way they lost those fights, maybe they're not going to be
Maju
happy
dan
with.
satu.
They haven't cleared out that smoke before.
Itu aja,
Now Jing will be dealt with at least. Maybe expecting the op to be here as they invade the smoke and play back, but it's still 2 rifles in play. Now the element of surprise there for Divide, but he's being spotted by the drone.
Nice fight.
Shot, but he won't get out unscathed.
Yang 2 sih, satunya lo lawan
Makes things a little bit tougher.
Bisa
Forsaken
lah.
is in position. The push up on the flank has already been happening, but Forsaken realizing they're not planting, he's got to be very careful. He's already being flanked on Narrate with another high impact round. He has nearly all of the kills for Sentinels thus far, but they still have 1 man to deal with. Narrate
Harusnya
desperately
dapat sih.
low, but with the operator may not make a difference. And with this split of players, this is going to be very difficult for something to break.
Especially with the wall staying up for so long. He has no idea where these players can be. And a wraparound for Narrate grabs a 4th. He was the one putting up most of the deaths so far for PRX with the classic in that second round. And now adding 4 more to the tally. We need a little bit more from Sentinels.
Ya bilang itu orang gila OP lagi tuh.
Rounded perspective. But Narrate online early is certainly the sign of life we needed to see here.
Yeah, it's a great round from him. I think the bait that was being sprayed out as well, just to give him that little bit of extra space from Bang. And after what was a very slow start to the match, the fact that he's now 6
Intinya Alex mungkin
2 kills
kayak
between
gitu
the
sih.
remaining players. They'll hope that maybe someone will be there to join him. Of course, for PRX, you have that many flawless rounds, you have so many credits to play with. John QT though, looking to take space. Patman under pressure.
Zelsus already tagged up. Patman, yes, surrounded here. He will finish Zelsus off. It's a headshot. Doesn't even matter about the damage done earlier. The drop down of one player, but they don't know Forsaken and filled in the extra space. What? Patman, even on 36, is able for another, but a sneak coming up. He's got one more. The tube leaves Bang with an opportunity. Unfortunately, it's an
Tapi harusnya
opportunity to put a 1v5
ketahuan
on the board.
dari mana kan
Finds
lagi
his
dia
first
bunuh.
look at the firing squad awaiting this swing. Isolates the first
Nice backup.
dealt with immediately, and PRX 5-1, an immediate response to that round win from Sentinels, more so from Narrate.
Yeah, no, it's really just been him having that sort of individual prowess in a singular round, but this round was all about Patman. Like, just absurd individual skill, and then he gets another one. Like, this guy was on 36 HP before he even got a single frag, and now he just seems to be walking away with this. And it's what I was talking about, like, the depth of skill and ability on this PRX side. It doesn't really matter who you walk into. You could see those struggles. I mentioned it already. Big fan of Kaplan. He's going to be given an opportunity early. I think a necessary one.
I'm out.
Actually, considering how things have gone so far, maybe not as early as it could have been.
Yeah, maybe the call here is just everybody take a leaf out of Narrate's book. He seems to be the only one firing back right now. And even there for Bang, you know, you look at how many flawless rounds out of the rounds we've seen so far there from PRX. What is it, 3? Where they start to show up. It's too late, it's too slow. And we talked about this. You mentioned it. PRX, no slouches coming into that second map. And yes, we can believe Sentinels can counterplay, tape, all of that conversation. But if they bomb out of this map, it's going to be much harder to believe in that bounce back.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be difficult to firstly get yourselves back on the horse, but I think more importantly, PRX and inform. Well, we won the last event.
They lift trophies.
That's all you really need to know. Something, guess what? He's making the same push once again, and guess what? He's found the opener once again. It's that same angle. They're putting the smoke, or they have been.
Orang satu itu benar-benar agresif banget ya.
Playing up above, but he's just not been playing up above. He's been happy to push.
Besok di sini keluar kalau Zek kan.
Managed to get an additional orb for second. They can try and utilize that Blaze Storm, but something is not shying away from this fight.
Kawan.
And there's the danger.
Oh, nice.
He wins it. 25 HP.
Oh.
No! Almost got another. And even then, that's numbers equalized and then extended with Patman showing up yet again. Zelsus and Narrate have to fight their way back in. Narrate's been so reliable so far. But even still, he's down to 30 HP. Patman still drawing breath.
Bisa sih harusnya.
Puts him to one. Not much of a difference made.
Harusnya mana timbang.
Falling though. There is a real chance for Sentinels to bounce back in this unlikely round.
Satu kiri Pat.
He has enough bullets.
Nice.
Zelsus just in time. This one much closer, much better from Sentinels coming out of the pause, but not quite enough.
Yeah, this is the sort of crazy thing about this guy. It's like, we thought that him coming into the team might bring a little bit more balance, a little bit more in terms of flexibility, and I think it definitely has. But I think it's definitely a case of underestimating his individual ability as well, because
like
you put him in the bracket of having some of the best crosshair placement I've seen. Like, his read
Pat itu konsisten banget ya sekarang
every single point in that round was perfect. Like, he knew where his opponent was going to be playing from. Very well played from Patman. Now even the ultimates online for either side.
Bang, gelap bang.
We're back. Patman under pressure this time. They managed to deal with one of the
nice.
misses, but of
Gila,
course,
cepet
still
banget.
4 more.
Forsaken.
Where is he going?
On that A side.
Belakang.
This is not going to be expected. But Second goes back and clears his angles correctly. He's going to feel like he's been handed
That's the B-side open.
That was a 4v4 and he's solo defending B-side. Now that's forced the A push out. Sentinels punishing it. And this is, I guess, the danger for PRX when they feel confident. The overheat, it almost feels like it's just a chicane away and that corner has been rounded.
Alrighty. Leaving it down to just one.
It
still seems like they're questioning where to go. Oh, but it's a nice shot from the right. Continuing at least his
Nice
individual
try there.
form, another 3K to bring them around. But yeah, I think a lot of that was just not realizing that Zekken was behind, and then the rest of the team seeing Zekken on that side of the map just went, okay, they've just killed off our one player. By this point, they will have realized, so let's go running up. And it's the patience of Sentinels that ends up working out for them. I wouldn't be surprised if that was something that was mentioned by the coaching staff is, okay, guys, like, they are pushing us all across the map. They are taking these aggressive fights. Let's be a bit more patient. Again,
Gue matiin sistemnya kali ya, biar
in
enak
the
ya.
last round, they are still here for this one.
I think Narate's got more kills than the rest of the team combined. He is putting
Oh,
on one
sudah
hell of a show,
perspektif.
considering how labored this effort has been. That spray almost took Zekken out.
spam
They
baca.
will recover a decent bit, but it was down to a sliver there. Patman being robbed of that pick, but certainly not robbed of his map control. Even as an alarm bot to cover that left side. So this B site basically fully locked down at this point with a turret covering the walkthrough on tube. I don't think Sentinels have much of a choice, but it looks like they still want to split, get behind that pit.
That's the idea. It's definitely something PRX are aware
Bang,
of, though.
pakai dua, Bang.
Spam through
Bang.
the orb has done a lot of damage, and
Udah.
it's only going to get worse. Nice trade, though, from Bank. Will at least keep things even, and more importantly, give them a little bit of extra space to play with. Devi is trying to cover that
Nice ding.
lockdown use to try and force Patman out of the pit.
Nice.
They still have to deal with the rest of the players. Another trade, but they are having to try and walk through this, and Patman has just fallen back, way to go the corner. As said, his read, his placement on where opponents have been has been bang on every single time. And even making the realization of where Narate is going to be. These have been the two players to watch, and Narate will come out on top. 25 seconds left though. He's being flanked. Also, the cross being sold by the operator. It's not going to be easy for him, but he still expects it. Playing fantastically well, but this time he can't win the fight versus Jing. It does feel like at times a one-man show, and unfortunately this time Narate couldn't drag it over the line.
Yeah, man, your heart goes out to him there. I mean, he is putting everything on the line. What a read as well, expecting that flank to come around. Of course, the turret had been broken as the ult was in play. So he had some suspicion, played off it perfectly. The shot not landing.
Tipis banget.
Got through the pit eventually, but you see there the dangers. The idea being to go up through the tube, destroy the Killjoy utility, rob them of some information, and then force the player back as they wrap and eliminate him falling out of the pit. But they didn't expect so many players to be focused on that mid angle, and something
Orang gila.
And they've got to be careful. They don't really want to chase this guy out because there's always a second layer.
Udah gila-gilanya mereka gue lihat.
But it's actually another to be caught. The fact is though, it's another time where
Ada gila-gilanya. Ada gila-gilanya nih Sentinel. Gue PRX.
They are getting, well, destroyed at this stage of the match. 8 and 2.
Yeah, you said about a second layer, and then you saw the third be peeled back. It's got to feel frustrating for Sentinels there. You obviously try to take the space early, get deleted by the off. You put through an ult to try to deal with that. Jing's there. Okay, he's fallen back. Should be good to take the space. In goes Forsaken, and it doesn't get much better.
Ada gila-gilanya nih mereka main sekarang.
It's just so much to contend with. A lot of information in that late round because of the utility that's down for Devi, the reliance on him solo holding parts of the map. And Jing, he's just gone in, destroyed the
Nggak dapet.
map.
Dipik lagi mandi.
That's outrageous from something. They are deleting Sentinels' hopes, dreams, and the morale. Gotta be in the bin right now for the attackers.
You might as well set up the key on the Crusher, because there's only one team in the server at the moment.
Casing.
Maybe you can say 6 players. It really has been
Casing harusnya tahu. Dapat Sentinel dapat Casing harusnya kalau Casing nggak dapat karena udah nggak ada. Mau lagi di midnya. Tapi ini
he's just taking the fights versus opposition.
Iya nggak ada uang.
He doesn't get the opening joys if somebody else gets there first.
There's always hope for that second half turnaround. There's always hope for map 2, but right now, Tom, I'm not seeing it. And I don't think Sentinels are either. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, a pause at this stage, 9-2, you're 1 round left in the half. Is it even worth it? Maybe just the correct momentum. I don't know when it will be deployed, but they're running out of runway here on that attack. And especially seeing such an early freeze call from Sentinels into a save because there's no opportunities being granted, nothing being gifted. They'll save the rifles that they have at least for the next. But right now, it doesn't look like PRX can put a foot wrong. Like, the round that they lose of the overheat over on B, you can see why. Sure, something might not hit it every single time, but 90% is good enough.
Yeah. This kill really doesn't
Yeah.
mean
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah.
Extra
80%.
orbs. But that'll be about it. The most important thing for Sentinels is to hold on to the weapons. I'm actually surprised PRX don't throw more into the wind there. They've got so many credits. Like, most of these rounds have been clean. It's not like it would have mattered. I guess the only thing would be you don't want to give the operator or the orb.
Bisa gila-gilanya
There's
itu.
a couple of things that could make a difference, but he's just lightning fast. As I said at the beginning, when you see some of the highlights of something, this is the map for me that springs to mind. I mentioned the Blade Storm, but realistically, his operator, when it's on, it just feels like there's nothing you can do. And then just look at the scoreboard. Every single member of their squad is having a great game. Guess where he is? But they've guessed. They put the drone in to get rid of him, or at least try.
Burn that utility early to get rid. You said narrate. It's still true. He's got more kills than the rest of the team.
That spam almost killed Celsius, by the way.
It's not the first time either. He's been caught a couple of times on the cross on mid, now on the B side. Out goes
Yeah.
drop shot, doesn't land. Defy goes down. Blade Storm activated. And that doesn't hit either. This has got to be the
Pet,
best
pet.
chance.
Kau bisa pet.
But they
Kau
still
bisa
haven't
pet.
dealt with Patman. He's been so good when the pressure is put on him. But it looks like we might have a little change in direction. The A side wide open.
That's a good call if they do fall back. They've heard the TP be activated, but of course it could have been cancelled. I don't mind this from Sentinels. Grinding to a halt. We saw this last time when they managed to finally get the advantage. It was the patience that ended up paying off, but honestly, with how Forsaken is playing when he's just in slight off angles, I really don't mind it. Like, just let him try and hold on to this site. I wouldn't even be surprised if he ends up with a couple.
30 seconds
But
left.
if Sentinels can get this site, they've got the Viper's Pit ready and raring to go.
The Odin to spam back through, but Forsaken would need to get out. He's been in aggressive positions, hiding in corners, now out in the open.
Yes.
Zekin lands it. Beautifully done, as the A side is now theirs. The pick can go down for Bang. And with 12 seconds left, it's more than enough to get this plant in. Nothing that PRX can hope to do to deny. And fighting back into that pit, I mean, you saw the struggles Sentinels had over towards the B site, dealing with Patman.
Kalau gua nggak ada suara, bisa tiduran.
Should be free.
Oh, nice.
He's been deleted. Patman, luckily, is put in the grave right afterwards.
Oh, it's been a rough day at the office, hasn't it? Jing, it's not really
Bye.
an opportunity for him to take
Tiga.
it, so it will at least be a curse. Divine mentioned it on day one, he'd love a 9-3 just to get the curse on his side, but, well, 9-3 domination, that's what we've had in half number one. We'll see if Sen can bring it back after the break.
Enemy remaining. Spike down B.
Against PRX, but Divide doesn't look too shaken down on that stage. It's been all smiles for what was the defensive side. And a few sparks of hope scattered throughout a sea of despair for Sentinels. Now they move to their defensive side, and sure, this isn't their map pick, and this is somewhere we even came in saying PRX clearly favored on this map. But if it's a blowout, then we throw into question how Sunset will go, and if Sentinels will be seeing their key crushed before long.
Yeah, the worry as well is you go back to their performances on this map at Masters Toronto, and it was that defensive side the Sentinels struggled on. So it's definitely not good signs on map number 1, but maybe they can get something started here. The positives, Nurate was the highest ACS player in that first half. Was one of the main reasons they even delivered the 3 rounds they did, is Zelsis to look for that early fight. It's not pretty at all, and Devi again! His Sheriff's in the pistol rounds. It was 3 in the last. Well, he's already got 2/3 of that.
I'll tell you what, with what he said about BBL, I think they'll be pretty happy watching this spot back. For Sentinels, it's a shaky start, but it's not over just yet. The pistol round will give them so much more hope. That's an audacious play. The rate's been good, but only one to be found. Damage done. But a lot of that is decay, and it comes right back online. Something healthy, Forsaken swinging, and it's left onto Zekin. A Sheriff in hand, but that will give him a one-shot body shot on something. Everyone else, especially for him to have a chance of the 1v3, he'll need to be clean and precise. Shots to the head.
I think he heard the steps. He at least knows there's a player towards spawn, so he's going to go looking. It's not pretty, though. That needed to be a lot cleaner if he was going to have a chance in that clutch, and it was anything but. 10-3. That should be the map locked in. I think even if they had managed to win the pistol, it felt doubtful for Sentinels, but wow. This guy in pistols, they just seems to enjoy any brawly battle with the Sheriff.
A fight.
And I didn't even realize that it was Forsaken just spamming through the orb that ends up finishing off Narrate.
I think this might be like Serena GC, just Sentinels sat on the stage in between maps, getting that aim train and going, because they've not been hitting so far. And like, there's been rounds where PRX just overwhelmed them, but equally there's been rounds where they have those opportunities and the shots just do not land. One man who has been reliable, as you said, Narrate, highest ACS in that first half for most of it. Get more kills than the whole team combined. Second, the right clicks are not kind, but Devi's gone down again. It's Narrate finding hope for Sentinels, even in these weaker rounds.
Well, one positive for PRX is they haven't lost themselves a weapon yet. There isn't anything other than that Sheriff that was bought by Narrate that can try and pad that gap. But they have faked this out. I like the idea. You see this quite often where a team thinks they're running into a stack, they fall back, and of course for Sentinels they go, okay, we've got to take gamble. So they move the stack to the other side of the map. We'll leave Narrate alone. If he can even give an extra pick here, would be nice. This time there was 3 rifles online for the side of PRX. The problem is they're so far ahead that we're talking more about round wins rather than, okay, can you do some damage?
They might be in with a shot here. Already put it down to what was a 5v3. Jing lands one, but now the players will start coming out of heaven. Jing with another, as blinded up as he is. He's not being dealt with. Still drawing breath, leaves it onto something. Spike up top, and look at the wraparound. Great reposition. I don't think they'll expect this, thinking he's still behind that wall. Bang. He's cast an eye in the right direction, but he's looking away as something rounds the corner, and he doesn't expect that defuse to be stuck. He's now confirmed it isn't, and he will just play with the time. Easy peasy for PRX now, with 11 rounds on the board. It looks like this map won't be on for much longer.
Yeah, it's a shame, because you take this round in isolation, and it's actually very good. They came in with barely anything. They were up against rifles, they only had pistols, and they got 4 kills. But when you're going up 11-3 down, it really doesn't matter anymore. Like, they needed to try and win that round if they were going to have a chance to turn this back. It's going to have to be a ludicrous string, and I'll be honest with you, Patman's been fantastic, but something has had so many moments that have just got to have broken the mental of the opposing side. Zekin's going to try and take a leap out of his book. I think he's already been seen. I think something knows he's there, and he's going to have to fall back. Doesn't take too much damage at least. The attack, they've managed to force them all the way back to the site, and they are not committed in that direction whatsoever.
Patman's just waiting. Looks like John QT's going to give him the fight, but they'll give him the shot to the head as well. returning lead in the other direction, and PaperX, they lose that opening duel. It is damn close. Junk UT was on 0 shield, just the regens, was on 5 HP. Needs Zelsis to hold strong or at least buy time, and that's exactly what the Nanos do.
Well, Timmy the turret has been revealed. Zelsis, however, has not. Still sat in the corner in the swing alongside his teammate, has given them another man advantage. Forsaken will turn the tide, but they're being flanked on. They managed to get past that turret, and it seems like Devi is completely unaware that they have lost that much control, though he is having a little look, not seeing the players. That will be the moment, though. Bang, managing to take one down. Devi needs to do well here. Jing has gone alongside him. And now Bang is all that's left, but Devi, with players in front of him, just seems to decimate. It's 12-3. What looked like, finally, an opportunity for Sentinels has again been a death-dealing blow from PaperX.
I can't believe they won that round. Devi, it did look like for a moment, didn't think about the flank.
Yeah.
I don't know if he heard the smoke or just suspected it. But his turret didn't catch them on the cross, yet still he turns just in time. They're suspicious, they're ready, and they win all of the fights from that point. And that really feels like what we've seen throughout this entire map. And that's nothing to do with the battleground itself. It's to do with the players. Look at that. Zekin's clearing it. Devi's looking up top initially and just gets the pick and then finishes off Bang as well. For Sentinels, they did everything right there. They made the right plays. The timing maybe could have been better, but without them making steps, they couldn't have gotten there faster. And a timeout as their opponents are about to cross the finish line. I don't know that they can be the ones to wield their fate here as a weapon. I think that they have to hope that PaperX stall out.
Oh, there was once a small British man that took a pause at 11-3 down.
Time out.
Kaplan is trying to beat that by 1. Unfortunately, the small British man is now working with the team on the other side of the stage. So it's a difficult thing to try and come back from. Look, I rate Kaplan, but this might be a bridge too far. Especially with the weaponry not being the best. They've spotted at least one player, and already it's not looking good. The raid gone, Bang gone. Maybe Kaplan said just lose at this point. Move on to the next map. Oh, getting slammed! It is style points for PaperX. Well, Zelsis and Timmy. Why is Kaplan still watching this? Why does he know that he's still there? 13-3, PaperX have put on a clinic in map number 1. And well, it was their choice at least, but they need a serious reset in the Sentinels camp.
Well, at least it'll be easy to forget. It occupies so little of their memory. That is demolition from PaperX's Sentinels. Bomb out of map number 1. Sunset, their pick, comes up next. It's going to take a lot to bounce back from this, but at least the rate, he was on fire. Let's see if they can heat up in this series.
This land is calling.
I'm Tombiz, and this time we are going to be playing a game of draw and guess.
One of you is going to be drawing something, an ability from the game, and the other one has to guess which one it is.
If you do good enough, I feel like I'll be able to figure it out. Now the pressure's on me, buddy. You're gonna look like a dummy when we get there. Yeah, I will. Okay, yeah. Cool, got it.
Well, I don't know if this is cheating or not, but I just drew the part of the map where you'd want to throw this, and then I drew like the smoke, what it looks like in the POV, and then I drew like...
I didn't even guess it.
Bang, go, go, go!
Smoke. Just fucking open smoke.
Can you cheat at drinking wine?
It was career suicide. This is some skull and bones society stuff.
It's time to spill the truth. This is called Listen Now, only on Audible.
You?
That looks so cute.
Yeah.
Skydog.
What does it mean?
What skydog?
That is not a skydog. His drawing is not the best.
Is it like this way? Is it like a race bombot?
Yes!
I was thinking that this is ear, so this is eyes.
Can you just show that to one of the cameras quickly? Just show that.
이게 캐릭터.
Do you know what that is?
I don't know.
Not a clue. Didn't think so.
개코 윙맨? 와, 진짜 미치겠다. 와.
What is this?
So what are you doing, man?
What, is that not?
Is this like a hippo? Is this Dizzy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Like,
it looks more like a kind of dinosaur. If you had to name it, what name would you give it?
As soon as you
Pepperoni Saur
Mr.
would be my guess.
Pepperoni. Yeah, Pepperoni.
Yes.
That's good.
No way. No way.
How can I be so bad at this? How? Wait, it's a weapon money.
How is that a Viper Molly?
It looks like a weapon money.
Okay.
From what angle?
I'm solving by a map perspective.
Okay.
What? I mean. No. Don't turn that. Oh my God. Okay, I'll do this for you. How about that? You know?
Okay.
Guys, this is an exception. I will not think for anybody else, okay?
Boombot.
See?
Oh, actually, it does look like a Boombot, to be honest.
It does look like a Boombot. Like usually, make some adjustments.
It's really my bad.
Thank you very much. I've had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. And I hope you enjoyed watching as well. Thank you very much and best of luck in your game.
Bye-bye.
A dominant performance by PRX. The super fans are outflown from all over the world to cheer on Pacific's champion from Masters Toronto up against Sen City, who just never got it going. 13-3. Basically only narrate in the server. A difficult start and a just straight like haymaker to the face by PRX to Sentinels. They are up 1-0 and looking like the dominant force that everyone expected. Welcome back to the Esports World Cup. Digon here alongside Baby Bay and Picasso herself, Kakuka. That last little bit of
You do not want to know who gets a drew. I was like, do not turn that around.
No, yeah, you did a great job there. We all knew it was a Boombot. I'm sure you all at home knew it was a Boombot, and you know, hopefully there's some ideas brewing right now for Sentinels, because there were not many on display there in map number 1, Kakuka.
It's good to see that PRX, though, comes out of that 2-day break that they had, swinging in so strong. We know that this was their map pick, but we just saw the classic PRX that is so scary, the one that is going to be extra aggressive from the defense, that is always going to be super locked in for every single round, doing a lot of when you really think, oh, they have the advantage, they don't need to push, something appears pushing you with an operator.
Yeah, and it's not easy to stop a team that has full momentum like Sentinels, of course. And I think PRX dealt with it very well. And just to give a little bit of lore, the first map in Toronto that PRX and Sen played was also a 13-3 the way of PRX. So different map this time. It wasn't split, it's Icebox, but they're still cooking Sen.
Yeah, and one of the exclamation points of that last map was round number 7. Again, PRX just kind of functioning in so many different ways and winning so many rounds that feels like Sentinels just didn't have an opportunity to get in.
Yeah, just some nasty operator play, but I think it was actually Pac-Man that had a real big moment in this round, if I'm correct, but all off this back of something with that operator that we were talking about.
Yeah, I think that him something with the operator, finding the opening kills, already putting Sentinels in a very difficult position, especially if it's, for example, I think at the beginning of this round, it was John QT, if I am not mistaken, just going down right at the beginning, the movement, the momentum is already on their side. We're already speaking from a 5-1 perspective. And as we're saying, a PaperX that is completely dialed in. But to me, the biggest highlight for the side of PaperX has to be Patman. He was locking down the B side so effectively, especially like every single time that Sentinels had something going for them, for example, like a Killjoy ult, he had his ult ready, already gathering all the entrance of B long and just making it impossible for Sentinels to get anything going their way.
Yeah, and just completely confident to lock down that entire site. It was just ridiculous seeing him reposition in any spot and even just hold angles, just full confidence. Okay, I'm just going to sit in the open on this off angle. I'm going to one-tap you in the head. And obviously, strong start on the pistol as well to kick things off.
Yeah, again, he had a great performance. We could have picked anyone here for PaperX, but Patman stepped up.
I think that the most important thing is that Patman is the latest addition, but he's merged in with this team so perfectly. It literally looks like he's been here for years. You can definitely see how and why PaperX decided to go for this player. His adaptation to the way that they play and all the insane plays that he's been having since he joined. He's definitely such a help for the team.
It's really rare that you have a rookie come in and look like a veteran, and I think that you summed it up. But he looks like a veteran. He looks so comfortable playing with PRX, and it's just not something you find every day on a team.
No, definitely not. Take a look at the stats there, just kind of dominant up and down. Only thing kind of like maybe kills per round, didn't get 1 kill per round, but his KDA, the amount of damage he's doing, and then just the amount of control that he had on the Viper was just so strong.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Like, you know, maybe like let's round it at 1, but the damage per round is insane. Like 184. This is the kind of performance that you want from your Viper. And again, it's not that he was the one pushing or going in the hunt. He was there playing from yellow, playing from within the side, or just being aggressive when he needed to.
Yeah, so we start there in Icebox. This was obviously PaperX's pick. Now that we're shifting on over to Sentinel's pick, Sunset, maybe a little bit more confident and comfortable here. You were saying earlier, this was very similar to the path that they had over in Masters Toronto.
Yeah, this was the second map in which PRX had one of the most iconic Sage Wall plays of all time. I mean,
was this the one with the diffuse as well? Was this the one with the
yes, yes, exactly.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
Oh my God, Deacon, we need to show you that moment because I don't know if you've seen it, but it's absolutely crazy. Yeah, this match, I remember that one of the keys of it being so close, I remember the Zekken was having on one.
Yes,
he was trying to shut them down time and time again. And it's not only him. I think that the way that he's being set up by John, for example, and by Narrate is going to be extremely important. They didn't really show up, these players that I'm mentioning on this first map. But again, I think that we have a lot of coaches speak about it. It's way easier to come back mentally from a defeat that is a 13-3. Literally, we lost, you know, you lost. Then coming out from a map that was super, super close and you just didn't manage to close.
I'm just wondering if history is going to repeat itself. Is it going to be a 13-11 win for PRX again? Because the first map was the same score, 13-3. I don't know. This is crazy. And, you know, we spoke about how Narrate was the person that needed to step up. And he did just that.
Yeah.
And the fact that PRX was still able to have such a dominant win when he was like he was popping off. The only rounds that Sen did win was off the back of Narrate. It scares me, it worries me going into the second match because it just makes me think that maybe Sen are just not confident enough.
I think it's important also to remember something that I believe it was actually John QT was saying in one of the videos that we showed at the beginning of the day, and is that especially in tournaments like this and when you only have a chance, some teams might just have the day. And even if we look at playing it, we say, oh my God, PaperX are on such a run, they've been so efficient this year. It doesn't matter if like 1 in 100 times that they played, Sentinels might win. This could be that one. You just need to have the day. So it's very important. The Sen City feels the support that they have right behind them, that just, you know, have fun playing the game, enjoy the cheers that you're getting from your fans that have flown all the way here to support you. Do what you know you can do on Sunset.
We were in the crowd for a little bit during that game, like the beginning of it, that first half. And I gotta say, the PRX crowd was kind of drowning out the cheers of the Sentinels crowd. It was electric in there.
To be fair, baby, they were giving him a lot more to cheer better about the Sentinels fans. The Sen fans were trying their best to get the chant going in those round losses. I think the big fear here for Sentinels is that it's not just, hey, one player is lacking. It was 4 players lacking in that last one. Zelsis were able to pick up a couple of frags there at the very end. However, it is going to take a huge effort to turn around, but if someone's going to be able to do it, it's Coach Cap and the rest of Sentinels. 1-0 PaperX. Their tournament lives are looking good, and Sentinels on the line. Let's get to it.
PaperX almost looking as good as you, Degon. Thank you very much. To our analyst desk, it's time to get back into this series. Sentinels taking their seats as we speak, and you have to hope that that reset's being kind to them. It was a quick first map. PaperX demolishing their opposition, and it looked like they couldn't put a foot wrong, except for that 1v main push, but we won't talk about that. They highlighted it on the desk, Tom. The real concern isn't one player missing, it was one player online for Sentinels. Narrate was on fire, but the rest of the squad's going to need to catch some of that heat.
Yeah, I think though they've always been a team that's relatively good at having those sort of resets. Of course, that I love it. She's gonna run out of space to hold on to. Of course, there's Jing's mum, who's in the crowd right there with everything to support him. But yeah, to be honest, with how things are going, she might have quite a short day. Like, it might be back to the hotel very soon. We are going to be getting into things. And I was wondering whether or not we might see a change for the side of Sentinels, obviously coming in with the similar, I think, same composition that they were running over the last few times. Obviously versus DRX, they absolutely battered. So still feeling confident in their own map and in their own choice. We've seen them play again at Masters, where they had a very good performance versus the likes of Fnatic, XOG, BLG, but they've definitely had some blips here, like losing to XOG earlier in the tournament. But as I said on the last map, they normally learn from those sort of mistakes. It wasn't the case there, and I do think that a lot of it comes down to just getting those players online. Like, we know what we normally expect to see from someone like Zekken, what we normally expect to see from Bang. So I think the fact that it was only Narrate is definitely a worry. But if he can keep the same form and you get a couple of others, we have a game on our hands. If not, we could see the repeat, because hey, you've gone to the other side. As said, over the last few months, it's 5-0 for the side of PaperX on this map, and we're talking good opposition. We're talking beating Fnatic, beating Sentinels, beating Liquid, beating DRX. Like, these are all top tier opposition that they are managing to get past. So I think they're going to come into this one feeling incredibly confident, and it's up to Sentinels to prove that, okay, we picked this map for a reason.
Well, one thing that might be a little easier to deal with now is without something being on that quick escape agent, he can't get as aggressive as he did in that previous map, because he was winning opening duels and getting out majority of the time.
But what is the alternative?
Yeah,
it's Jing on rank.
It is Jing.
It's not better, is it? It's just
it's not that much better.
If anything, it's worse.
If anything, he won't get one and get away. He'll just go straight through your team, take 3 or 4.
But that's always the thing with them on this map. Obviously, they're starting out on the attack, but their defensive pushes are genuinely disrespectful. And a lot of it, I was going to say, revolves around middle. It seems like they've got the same idea on the attack.
Tends to be the case. Get your priority zone down and lock it regardless of the side. Sentinels straight through B main as a response. They take space. Great point of contact. Big swing, but it's expected. They were ready for that. And now there's a paranoia in response. Shock dart up close. Zekken barely makes it out. Luckily, he's quick on his feet, but Narrate can't quite get out to meet him. They need to take this battle at least until Narrate falls. Then Zekken has the choice to fall back, but he goes back in for another bite. In fact, once more. And that could be the big mistake. An overheat with Patman dropping him. We're back to a 2v2. Decent damage done. No shields on the other side. A headshot will be enough from these PaperX players, and so far they have been the ones, especially Patman and Forsaken, reliable in these sort of scenarios.
They are a little bit more tagged. Second did well, taking 3. Now the reset comes in, but Zelsis has been reclaiming that space. He's going to get a lot of information for John QT to start the rotation back over to the other side. 30 seconds left.
30 seconds left.
Not close enough to hear those steps. They will be making their way in towards that site eventually. There is going to be that realization. That's when they start putting on the heater to try and catch up that little bit more. But it will be the afterplant for PaperX.
Nice open plan too. You have to worry about everything here over towards elbow. And for the re-clear from Zelsis. You know, he's the one that has the pressure, has to clear a 50-50 angle. Steps made, they've heard him. They won't be giving him the chance to take him down for free. Hiding from the camera too. There's the shot from Patman. They know where one is. They haven't got the info in the second, and now they do, but look how quickly it crumbles. The round win for PRX. The lead early on here on Sunset.
Yeah, I guess the one sort of glimmer of hope is the fact that we are seeing a little bit more from Zekken, like managing to get 3 kills in that round, a lot of it of his own individual ability. But yeah, as you said at the time, it seemed like they had a solid read on what was going to be attempted. They went aggressively into middle, maybe expecting that, okay, it's either going to be mid-aggression or it's going to be this aggression over on the B side of the map. So once they spotted nothing in mid, it was an immediate reapproach to that B side. And looking like the same again, Jing. Okay, that is so bold. He's just gone running through the smoke. We sort of mentioned it. Is it better or worse having Jing pushing you as a raise? Oh, sure, it's only a low buy, so I guess this round doesn't matter too much, but I think there's plenty more to come.
Well, I think you can read into that. If that's what he does against a low buy with one of the 2 rifles that they have to play with, what's he gonna be like when they've got weapons on the other side? When that risk isn't as audacious to make, and this is the problem, man. You look at that first map, and there were a lot of fights like that. A guy pushing through a smoke, an angle you're holding. It's not like he's on the left or the right. It's a narrow little walkway. And they lose the fight, and this just means, well, okay, they could lose the fight. Shields and whatnot, not even a shot landed, that's a terrible sign.
Enemy remaining.
Well, it's in a round that was ultimately over, doesn't matter too much. Scoreboard looking fairly similar to the last map, at least for now, just with a different player on it. But this is where things should get interesting. Of course, for PRX, not really taking any damage in the previous round. It means they'll have rifles alongside a singular stinger.
Standing ahead.
In terms of the ults, nobody particularly close to Zekken. This time is going to have a decent read. Okay, they're going to try and push us. They're going to try and disrespect us. I'll give a little bit of spam to that smoke, and they'll have the man advantage for it.
It's an interesting trap wire they've put down. It's going to allow PRX to potentially push through mid and go to that left side, wrap around to B. Maybe just avoiding that early shock dart you'll often see thrown through. You that little bit of information on the A wrap. Doesn't mean someone has to keep holding it. Those players in market are always at risk of being wrapped. At least what we can see, that's not going to be the case. PRX running into a 3-man stack up. It's a direct approach. And what is easily dealing with. He already mentioned one player on the board for Sentinels, similar to the last map, but not much has changed. The rate might be about to add 1 to the tally. I say Forsaken drops it, but a 1v4 is not to be.
Yeah, it's not going to be the ace this time, but that's exactly what you want to see from someone like Zekken. Stepping up into the game, mentioned in the last map, his quietness was uncharacteristic. He's been someone that has been so enjoyable to watch at internationals and, of course, in North America. And back on the Neon, he is looking incredibly comfortable. A lot of awkward fights to be taken, but he wins the lot.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Come on, come on.
And now, at least on a map that we know they're a lot more comfortable on than the last. Hoping this will be the start of something, of course, for PRX. They will be able to get another purchase. That was their bonus round. But the fact that Sen kept it relatively clean is a good sign.
Oh, they felt out the space. Trap seen, and it's Zekken. Caught on the rotation.
Not the guy you want to lose.
He did exactly the same in the previous round. That pathing, I'm not even sure PRX read into it. Just right place, right time. And a good shot onto John QT. Your breach is down. Your B side a bit more vulnerable. And the A side pushed up as a response. Sentinels want some space, but they hear them come back. The drone goes in. The right swings wide, but he's only good for one bang. It could be a surprise as he goes deep, but he is not getting anything for his trouble, nor is anyone else on Sentinels. That is a great resurgence for PRX. And again, you go back to that previous map, not much has changed in that regard.
No, it's swapped who the player is, but the second Zekken was dead, everything came crumbling down. And while that trip was something that ended up being his demise, the fact that they can get him without really any information being had for him Of course, for PRX, this is looking like a great day so far. 3-1 up on that attack side. Of course, it's a map that they've been solid on either side, but when they played against Sentinels, they ended up with an 8-4 defensive half. I'm not going to pretend like between these two teams it's going to be identical, but if this ends up anywhere near as dominant as the last map, it's not like we're expecting a change on the other side.
The wall is up, locking Bang out of any real control. They're going to drop that and look for the fight. Bang goes down immediately, and now what? What comes from this? Showstopper on its way, but Narrate has managed to thread the needle. He's behind them, and he's missed the shots! The Showstopper lurking, he has to go back into the heavy pack, and Forsaken is the one waiting for him. He was between a rock and a hard place there, but he had to hit those first shots. That's where it all comes crumbling.
He's seen it.
Oh, he's running into the bookie. That could be a pick for Zekken at least, but he gets nothing on the follow-up.
Yeah, they know that Zelsis is there as well.
This is
of course,
PRX.
the PRX wall is always something they love to put into play, but let's be real, there isn't even going to be an attempt at this retake. The round felt done the moment they lost those first couple of opening picks, and sure, the kill on Bang, it just felt like Divide just won that 1v1 outright, even if the angle seemed favored. But the second one, yeah, it was just an uncharacteristic whiff from Narrate. The stun just being held because they know they're going to be pressured. They have the trip holding, so the second that is broken, the stun's going to be used just to try and make sure they can hold on to these guns, at least bring something through to the next round. But PRX, they are starting to run away with this one again, 4-1, and the credits already booming.
Yep, as we said, it does seem like not much has changed. 8 kills for Zekken, 2 for the rest of the squad. A new hero, but the same tragic storyline for Sentinels. This is what we feared. If Icebox was close, if there was a heartbeat there, then perhaps they'd be able to carry through some momentum. Perhaps we could believe in the counterplay, the VOD analysis working out in their favor, but you give PRX a 13-3, you move to a map where they're not only comfortable but dominant. But it doesn't look too likely you'll be able to break the mold, but for Sentinels, a timeout early on. 4-1 down, it's not too late to grab a hold of those reins, snatch them from the hands of PRX. From what we've seen so far, Tom, it looks like they may need a miracle.
Yeah, and they are getting to the stage where I was talking about them waking up, might be too little too late. Like, it just seems like today, PRX have got their number. I like the pause timing though, a little bit earlier than last time out. Clearly realizing that the same trend is beginning. And while we've always talked about Alex and the danger of tables, I'd be wasted reinforcement at this point if they'd actually put the extra time into keeping those desks safe, because he hasn't had a reason to get frustrated in this game so far. It has been incredibly one-sided. Well, it seems like at least for the side of Sentinels. Now going to be going into the danger, man. Second though, it is the dive across from Jing. He sells his life to give them the opener. Now a plant here, but guess what? It would bring him right back.
Spike planted.
Secured, but the wall's broken. Someone has to be holding that.
You will not kill my ally.
You got to expect the swing to come through.
Where are you?
Got to expect that spray on the body, but they don't get him. They're blocked out of any real control there. Okay, he's right back in play. That advantage extends even further. TP through the smoke. Getting aggressive is Forsaken as John QT tries his best. Bang has an idea, but he didn't know that Forsaken slipped past him with that shrouded step, and that secures the round. A disaster again for Sentinels. It looked like they had a real shot at that one.
Wait, I'll say, like, that was a split second from Bang getting that spot on. Like, he looks back to check the smoke, but then obviously there's a million other angles that he's got to be keeping an eye on, so just can't quite catch him at the end. Man, this is the sort of moment we talk about where Jing is happy to sell himself so that they can get the trade, and then when you're one off that res, well, especially after Divide gets the kill, it gives them that extra advantage. 5-1. It's a close round. It's a round that very nearly could have gone Sentinel's way, but It's another that is added to the tally. Only 3 rounds granted in the last map. If Sentinels are going to keep themselves in this tournament, it needs to be now.
Now or probably never. The B-side already overrun. Spike hasn't gone with, so players still need to cross. Full mid control for Sentinels as well. They're playing this one slow. Shouldn't see an overcommit towards that B-side. They know that it has to be the retake. They've cleared out so much space. Patman is the danger man. Hunter's Fury. That's going to delay them. That's going to send them back towards mid. It's going to allow Patman to come behind, but he loses the fight. He didn't expect them to still be so deep in towards tiles. That is a lifeline for Sentinels, avoiding that backstab. And look at PRX. They push spawn, and they're wrapping Divide back around. They shouldn't expect the second flanker. It's all down to timing, but they've closed the door.
The problem now is just the time. Divide, the spike is somewhat planted for him, and they don't have a clue where he is, but it's already being diffused under the smoke. The player's low, but he hasn't managed to land the shots. They are just sticking it under his nose. There was too much to be had in this round, and it's Bang to be the hero. 3 for him in this one. But more importantly, I think it was the call. You could see where PRX go into that site. There's a level of confusion. They're going, okay, we haven't spotted nearly enough for this to be a proper B defense, so let's try and make a move. And while it did come down to incredibly slim margins, with Patman finally realizing what's going on, but it did enough this time.
It's got to be frustrating for Patman. It's the knife out shift walk. You save a little bit of time, but the cost paid there is massive. That said, the way PRX played that was really nice. They don't have the information, and so they adjust. They go Hunter's Fury. They go pushing through mid. It almost set them up for a round win, but it's given Sentinels a foot in the door, and Bang is closing it shut on PRX in this round. A double opener, and the attackers left in a 2 versus 5. At this point, especially look at the control that they've lost with Zekin pushed up alongside Zalsis. It's a Hail Mary jump past the smoke, and okay, something. He's got 3 now. This is getting a little bit concerning. Zekin should have him. He's seen the barrel. It's an easy closer. That did get a little bit scary.
Yeah, something's definitely been on today, but it's good to see Rob Moore in the crowd. Like, it's not many CEOs that you're going to see at the heart of the fan base, but he's definitely pumped up. He's getting the fans rolling, and it's exciting to see this team have some moments. Bang, back-to-back rounds. But he's showing the individual brilliance we know that he has. Still, though, there's a moment where something seems like he could have turned that into a 1 versus 5, which I think would have been the nail in the coffin. Even still, Sentinels now within just 2. The economy still hasn't been broken yet, though, of PRX. And while with a showstopper, a Viper's Pit, and that Hunter's Fury not far off, this is still a dangerous place for Sentinels to be.
Oh, it just got a little worse. Narrate down. It's not your mid control completely gone. Still a trap, still 2 players around that angle, but the A side is much, much lighter in defense. Patman's been pushing up. He sees nothing here. Nobody looking to fight, and a one-way smoke put down on short. I think he's starting to guess at elbow being open, and with the control Sentinels have towards B main, they may go for a flank. They may even get there before that push comes in on the A side, but the question is, can Bang survive? And he's repositioned, so this showstopper won't find him easily.
Yeah, the problem is it's one of the few rounds where you really can't give up the fight unless they decide not to use the Viper's Pit. Because you're basically allowing them, to be in a position where they have so much of this backside control. Getting into this corner is going to be difficult, and even leaves a little gap for Patman to hide in. They're delayed getting back into the site as well because of that Sage wall used to slow them down, and guess what? There's extra slows as well to try and use. Jack is going to try and get ahead of it, but he fails miserably.
He stuns one and thinks that can be the difference maker, but Devi was there to cover. These players outside the pit taking the fights, using Patman as a fallback. And I think that same word just uttered within the Sentinels comms. They're trying to fall back, but they're being boxed in by something. Bang is stuck in a corner with nowhere to run. flanked out on both sides. And these weapons, they attempted to save. And although Zellsis will get one, although he'll get two, he's got players in the spawn. He needs to run far and fast.
He's running towards.
Yeah, this is a bit of a risk. This could get spooky, but I think he's good.
Yeah, he's just about able to save, but when that's the best part of the round, that's definitely not what you're looking for. That's the problem. That opening pick from Jing, it is kind of crazy. Like, you look at the guy who has the showstopper, the guy that can get you into a site, just wings. Just takes a raw fight versus the player up mid. And then, yeah, when you have a showstopper and a Viper's Pit, it's such a difficult couple of ults to play against, because you basically are forced to play retake against something that is so difficult to play into. And the second they get that spike down, you can already see the moves of PaperX to box these players in. It's a second tactical pause already in the first half for Sentinels. They know that they are hemorrhaging right now, and they are getting ever closer to being out of this tournament.
They are just running out of time at this point. They need to find answers, and so far, they've been able to get around, maybe 2 on the board. Even then, look back. If Patman has his weapon out in the second round that Sentinels found, that's a completely different flavor.
Yeah, who knows?
He probably gets 2. The round flips. We see an even bigger lead. Then, a potential 1v5. It was damn close for something. It was a 1v2 in the end. I mean, look at how they close out a 5v2 is more the thing. For PaperX, when they win rounds, it's dominant, it's convincing. For Sentinels, even when they get the 5v2, it still feels like there's hope for PaperX. And that's very concerning.
Well, they come into this one still with a purchase onto the board. Rolling thunder for John QT, but it seems like Jing's just run it down. Look how much space he's already got. Narrate is completely unaware of how much has already been taken, and the back doesn't know either.
He heard him blast
just fumbles from the side of Sentinel. This wasn't even the goal. There was no plan for PaperX to even take the A site. It was send Jing in and see what he can do. Mentioned it in round number 2. This guy will disrespect your utility. He will do things you do not expect. But add in some mistakes for Sentinels, and hey, it doesn't get much easier than that.
Oh, I like the Forsaken TP to pull them back off the angle, but Jing taking the space like that is ludicrous. Zekin needs a big play in this court. They might have just seen him. They might have seen him backing around, and now they certainly have. Good luck to Zekin getting out of there. A firing squad waiting, and everyone hits their shots. Again, a 5 versus 2, and it comes off the back of an Omen ult and a blast, well, 2 blast packs, I suppose. The second, I don't know how bang. I guess he mustn't have heard it. That's a big mistake. And then look into the next round. You're gonna have Devi, most likely with a res online, whether it's by Orb. Certainly won't be by Exakill here with how far away Sentinels are, or by Plant. And not only that, the Hunter's Fury is there too.
Well, yeah, we saw it before when he was close. They just send Jing in to almost sacrifice himself. My only assumption is that when Jing last took the A site with the showstopper, he gets that opener and then he takes site control. So I guess Bang's logic there is they're going to smoke or wall this and I'll be up above. It ends up being an oversight just off. Probably most players don't do that, but you're not up against most players. You're up against Jing. And you have to be so aware of what this man can do. The hunt is still on. Well, Zellsis is the one to take the majority of damage. Ultimately, the gun is saved. So those buys are not getting any better. But yeah, you could tell that there was no thought in Narrate's mind of how much space had already been lost. Wow, no thought in Bang's mind that he might have got that close.
Yeah, it's difficult.
It's the duality of man.
It's difficult for Narrate there, man, because like he's had that pick, he got picked off on mid, then here he's left with the responsibility is John QT goes back to spawn to clear elbow and deal with Jing's push up Zekin.
Okay.
That's what they needed. A double opener, the spike in their possession as well. Forsaken used his ult in the previous, so no easy way to pick that back. But even as they go to deal with that problem, Patman is looking to create more issues for Sentinels, pushing up through middle. Luckily, Zellsis is there to wait for it. And it looks like at least 4 on the board at the halftime for Sentinels. A chance to bring this down to a gap of just 2 and a decent recovery on what could be a much more dominant half.
Know when they played versus PRX, Their attack side was fantastic. With someone like Zekken online, you put this man into position, you at least have yourself a chance. Forsaken is trying to bait out some of the angles here. Of course, they have the finances to throw everything into the wind, but finally, coming towards the end of the half, we're going to see Sentinels have themselves a clean round. Now, a 7-5, really not a death sentence whatsoever, even if some of the rounds have been a little bit worrying for them. With Zekken online, putting him onto the attack.
Destroyed.
There's definitely still opportunities here, but I do feel like they need that last round.
Bridging the gap here, where the Rez and the Hunter's Fury is online for PRX, where a more direct approach is going to be the name of the game. They saw that B-main push in the previous. Orb taken by Jing, and he's now just one away from another showstopper. 3 big ultimates to play from. Spike drop. Play with. It will be the spike given to him to ensure that's the case. This will be a very difficult retake for Sentinels. They have the Rolling Thunder.
Showstopper actually going to be used early, and that now makes this a little bit tougher through the Rolling Thunder. They go, and actually the Showstopper doesn't land. A good opportunity here, walled off. Divide just looking to keep himself safe at the back, but he's been caught by Narrate, giving them a man advantage, but still lots to deal with. The snake bite should buy them a little bit of extra time. They can't get that defusal in just yet, and that will mean the smoke has faded. A shot from Patman, but it's left all onto something once again. The first goes his way. JohnQT has to let go, and he will not be able to. This time only 2 to deal with, and something does just that.
PRX, another big lead at the halftime. Now they just need to get it across the line here to send Sentinels out to crush their key. We'll find out if we've got map 3 after the break. Welcome back, folks. 8 rounds on the board for PRX after a 13-3 decimation on Icebox. It seems like Sentinels have come in cold to map number 2, but now is their chance moving to the attack side. With Zekken activated, this could be the bounce back for them, and they certainly will hope so. Lotus will be the decider, but quite the road for Sentinels to get themselves there.
Yeah, of course, the hope is based off their previous performance versus DRX, but of course, in their previous performance versus this PRX side, it was the defensive side where both teams managed to get the majority of their rounds. So we'll have to see if they have found the answer. What is that PRX defense? They are very comfortable on this map. As said, last few months it has been 5-0 for PRX. They are looking to make that 6 and send themselves through to the semi-finals. More importantly, crush the key. of Seth, but a good start. Second on the attack. This is the man we're watching.
The man to watch most definitely. He's already got 2. He's living up to what was promised. The shock dart doesn't even get fired away. And a bit of damage on Zelsis can be overlooked as Patman is all alone. They know he's coming, and he'll only get the 1. A pistol round that was necessary for Sentinels to start this climb back.
Yeah, for sure. And as I said, although it's good when the rate is popping off alongside, I think that when you have this man leading from the front on the attack, if you can get Zekken online, sometimes that is enough. Obviously, versus PRX, it's a very difficult thing to rely on a single guy to take you over the line, but you will have seen the stats at the halftime. Like, he was by far and away the best player in this server, even in the first half. Being the tip of the spear. Look at him, 17 and 9. Currently 3 rounds behind. Of course, for PRX, just a couple of pistols thrown in. They still have the majority of their utility. It's whether or not they'll expend it.
Well, A main's being cleared out. PRX have an idea about this mid play. 4 of them towards the top of mid. And it's the B main push-up for Patman that gets them all that intel. But when Sentinels don't make a move, they go pushing on in. This is exactly what Sentinels wanted. They were waiting patiently for a misplay, for a bit of aggression. They come in quickly with the punish. 4 versus 1, not a chance. That is another solid sign of the climb back. We don't want to see hiccups in what should be easy rounds. Now the gap closes.
Yeah, it's important that they don't give anything to PRX if this comeback is going to become a reality. Of course, this is where the current Masters champions are going to get their buy back onto the board. And the thing is with this composition is it can be incredibly awkward to play against. Mentioned it before, they like to lock off one portion of the map and then a lot of the time aggress alongside it. That mid push already coming in from Jing. It's something I mentioned, and I like the pacey hit being attempted, but Zekken already going down. Definitely not the start they were looking for.
Okay, Narrate does very well here. If they win this low buy round, you really start to believe. Bang with a double as well. And now Sentinels only have to deal with Patman, but he's isolated 1, and the wall lets him know where the other player's coming from. The steps heard, and it's Zelsis on the other side. Patman strikes first, and PRX win the round ultimately, but a great sign from Sentinels yet again with huge damage dealt.
Do we just have a Rob cam? Is that what's going on? I feel like he's got his own camera at this stage just to get his live reaction to this. But no, yeah, a nice attempt. I think Narrate especially doing very well in the early stages of this round, being able to bait the plant to get them these fights. But that's the strength of Patman. He has so much to his game, be it the read of it, be it the clutches, or be it the flexibility. Here's a player that I'm sure many teams are going to regret they didn't go for before he ended up on PRX, because I imagine that contract is strong. Of course, that was the bonus, though. Sen right back on the horse.
Yes, this is where they can bounce right back. They left it down to 1 player. Looking at this half in isolation, that's where you start to believe in Sentinels! Zekken! He's got himself 2, and Patman's dealt with as well. This is perfect. Devi being alive with a res could have been disastrous. Jing. Oh, that nade's done damage. The showstopper fired in, gets Zekken. He's the last man standing, but he will be dropped by Narrate. And Sentinels, the gap to 2 again. The rifle round going their way. The low by very nearly. This is looking like their half.
If anything, that might end up being worse for PRX. It's going to put them in a hole in terms of economy. Of course, they spent everything. I have no idea what has happened there for Devi. Obviously stunned up a bit, but you'd still expect him with the amount of time he had to correct. But it seems like Zekken has got away with it there. And while being 20 and 12, the rate starting to show up as well. And as said, now back to the pistols. They got off to a stellar start on the attack.
These are rounds that you can't take for granted against PRX, but take a look at the minimap. Sentinels have made the right call gambled correctly towards this A site.
Face your
It is
fear!
wide open, and they'll even confirm it as well. Sure, they get one towards mid. It's an upgraded weapon as well. That res is not likely to be used. Well, I forgot what team we're watching, I suppose. They've brought Forsaken back. They believe in this round with the rifle in their hand. Zekin looks to tear that Hulk down and narrates alongside him to shut it out. PRX are done in this one. A res committed. In the previous, a showstopper as well. And a statement from Sentinels as they now put the rounds down to just one.
He's been gunning throughout the entirety of this map. He has been a completely different player to what we saw. Of course, the maximum amount of kills we've seen throughout this might be challenged going forward, because genuinely he has been a force to be reckoned with. And they're now starting to get themselves right back into this game. Of course, this is going to be that second purchase now for the side of PRX. This is where they will hope to try and find a response. And in fact, it might be the first time that Alex's table comes under a little bit of pressure.
It is certainly going to be in danger. Looks like max kills was 11 and Wisey tied up on 31, and you're dead right. Zekin's in with a chance to break that record here at EWC. At least in the land stage, not accounting for the qualifiers, of course. You can see Alex firing away the instructions to this squad. They had full control of the game, a strong lead, and 8-4. Devi would be delighted they didn't even get that 9th round. They didn't curse themselves, but it didn't seem to slow them down on Icebox. And here, it has led Sentinels to be just one behind. Again, the commitment in the previous round of the res really surprised me. 4 pistols, a rifle retrieved, and they say, screw it, we can win this. But that is PRX, and they're not often wrong.
Cover going out.
We'll see if the pause can make a difference for Gaplin on the other side. Thus far this match, it hasn't seemed to, but are now walking up. The charge being led, Patman under serious pressure. We'll just be looking to try and survive at the back of this site. He's dealt with the danger man and goes looking for a little bit more. Already dealt with a Forsaken, just trying to make sure he stays alive here, which he will. Now has the support of the rest of the squad.
Nate's dangerous. John QT is going to be in a bit of trouble, has to step forward, but the smoke goes down in time. Forsaken dropped, shock dart, the spams, chasing bang down. As he eventually falls, the numbers are even. The Sentinels know there's a lot of numbers towards the spawn. If 2 eyes watching in, locked in on that position with Zelsis covering for this market wraparound. It's a good job too, because something is about to challenge. Clear the close corner, but he won't land his shot. And it's all Sentinels in the kill feed. 9-9, tied up, and the problems that we saw in that first map no longer present. They're firing back across the board.
Yeah, it's a more direct approach. Like just picking the site, having their execute, going for the walk-ups early, avoiding a lot of any early aggression that we've seen from the side of PRX, and they've been putting a lot of pressure onto Patman. In the last map, that really did feel like their downfall. In this one, he's definitely struggling that little bit more, especially with the stuns that are coming through from John QT. Have definitely been making things very difficult for him to hold his ground. Of course, not having that traditional Sentinel on their side to slow down this Neon. This round though, again, it's a bit of a stinker. A Bucky, Sheriffs, not a lot of shields. The only ultimate could really change it seems to be that Viper's Pit, but I would be surprised to see it come into play.
It has been a hard-fought battle so far. The problem here for Sentinels, if they do go for a B split, it looks like just pressure on top mid. Yeah, they're going through market. So many pistols here. The slow sends them the other way. They go deep in the spawn. Jing lands one. Nade goes through, stops them following up on that flash. But look at the space taken towards this A site. The spike now on its way to join them. Forsaken not able to hold with the classic, and they've avoided the main danger, which was if going through that market.
It seems like Forsaken was completely unaware of how much ground had been lost. Narrate, he's tagged. That will be a gun, another for something as well. This is starting to fall apart. 3 rifles now in the hand, a Hunter's Fury as well. John QT, if he can get one, that's a Rolling Thunder, and it might just save them, but instead, Aftershock will be the start. Stun thrown in, but Jing has already gone flying past it, and that's banged down as well. It's now on to the IGL. They were looking for a chance to take the lead, but PRX won't let them. It is going to be the Pistols. This is going to be an upset round as PRX will claim the lead once again.
That's got to be annoying for Bang, man. He had the right idea, the wraparound, the timing was good. Your Raze has just dove in, the others are hit by a stun, and the Raze isn't facing. That means that they've got to be about to flood the site. But of course, they send Jing in, possibly to his death, and just hold behind them, waiting for that to come through.
As well.
It's disastrous, and I think he made the right play, but the punish is there nonetheless. Double digits, 4 ultimates online for PRX as well. Sentinels, luckily, they've got credits for days. There'll be no eco, there'll be no freebie for that defensive side.
Second, having that overdrive combination with a Rolling Thunder, it's a lot of space that can be garnered, but last time out, that Rolling Thunder was used into the showstopper. I'm sure Jing didn't hit it last time, but you'd somewhat bet on him to hit it. The next, the walk up from Bang has just been caught. Patman playing outside the site this time, a switch up of positions and a nasty surprise for the Sentinel smoker. That's definitely going to make their takes a lot harder with him going down this early on.
Ton of information. Look at the lack of response as well from PRX. You see one player outside A, especially your Fade on the other side, and they still have 3 players on that B side. They still have Jing playing towards the spawn. It's because of the ultimates they have. The retake will be strong. Patman, 5v4. I see him going aggressive. I see him walking up at the wall. I get worried, but oh, the slide in catches him off guard. Hunter's Fury almost taking second down, but he dodges the blast. He won't dodge the shots from Jing as the site not quite overrun. Rolling Thunder not followed up on, but they've evened up the numbers at least. Showstopper now comes in, and it's fired onto Zelsis, leaving John QT alone. He'll be sent to join his team in the afterlife, 11-9. PRX, they were caught up on, but it seems like Sentinels might have stalled out at the worst possible moment.
Yeah, the problem is like losing your losing your smokes that early on is just always going to be difficult. You can't section off any of those angles. You have to basically be ready for absolutely everything. And while with the showstopper online, Zelsis didn't really stand a chance. And then it just comes down to trading effectively, which is exactly what they did. 2 rounds now from sending Sen home, crushing their key. They are not out just yet. They still have the weapons to play with, and Zakin, he's just not missing a beat. Another opening for him.
Devi really wanted that kill once he heard someone stepping on his ice. But look at the A side. Again, PRX have the right reads. They've got players, boots on the ground where they need them. Sentinels have a choice to go back, but with no control, not even a trip on the other side of the map. And tiles locked down, as we can see, for Forsaken. They're going to have to run into this, not knowing the stack that's in play. Paranoia is good. Jing lands one, cage goes up, but it doesn't give them the protection that they need. Jing's on the edge of that as Patman spams. Jing steps through, and Sentinels crumble under PRX's grasp. One more needed to crush their key, to send them home.
This is the thing with PRX is you're gonna sit there and you're gonna go, okay, we found the opener, we want to pause, we want to wait for them to get aggressive. But you wait for them to get aggressive, and even still sometimes they win the fights. The setup of the Paranoia was sublime, but then the gap in the cage just made it all too easy for Jing to find that kill. And the second Patman starts stealing his frags. Jing's like, I'm not having that. Just goes running straight through. He's now 22 and 15. You said the worry might have diminished, and they're doing it again. We know all about this wall up. Bear in mind, Jing is stunned, and actually it's predicted. We've seen this one clip so many times, but that was only the first piece of the puzzle. 2 traded. Sentinels still stand. They have got to be careful. They are being pushed from every single orifice, and even when a player is low HP, something's first bullet accuracy has been insane. Even still, they are still limping on. They don't know where Patman is. They don't know where that second player could be. They're having to check every single angle as they walk.
There it is. That's the step. That's the info.
They pinged it.
They know exactly where he is, where he was, at least. And that gives them the intel that these players are split. They know that something's being hit, but look at the reposition from something. This is a nasty angle.
Mid.
He was top mid 10, 20 seconds ago. Now behind the box in B main. That's a huge risk with low HP to go pushing in. But the reward here, it could be the round, the game, and Sentinels sent home. They're trying to clear everything. Checking something. 4-piece to send Sentinels out. PRX not here for a map or a series. They're looking for back-to-back international titles. And now one step closer over the corpse of the North American Sentinels.
There's been hunting. There's been craving a trophy for an incredibly long time. They finally get that relief. And that's when you see a fall off. Take the foot off the gas. Oh, they could chill for a little bit. It's only been, what, like a week or two since they won themselves a previous trophy. And now they are just 2 matches away from doing exactly the same again. This PRX team is in form from top to bottom. And although we saw some mammoth performances, a great tournament from Narrate and Zekken, well, that final map, you feel like he deserved the victory from it, 26 and 17. But the fact is today, PRX was just too much for them. And if there's any team to beat in this tournament, it is them.
Neck and neck. They managed to climb back Sentinels.
Nice.
They did well.
Walaupun berkejuran.
PRX shifted to a new gear. They brought victory 13-3 on map 1. It seemed from that point, even starting out this map like it was going to be a dominant
Nice.
Sentinels almost got there in the end. But like you said, Tom, foot off the gas at the wrong moment. A wonderful delivery by Zekken on this map. But on the other side, Jing was the hero that they needed on PRX. The Rays delivered, and now he's down on the stage for an interview.
Welcome back to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, and this is PRX's big performance and 2 matches away from heading to the grand final and winning this trophy. I have Jing with me, amazing performance in both maps. Again, 2 matches away from a back-to-back international title. Does that add any pressure at all to you guys?
I think not really. Like this tournament, we came in, we just want to enjoy the moment, have fun, and yeah, I think we have learned a lot from last year, and now we don't put too much pressure on ourselves. So yeah, I think mental is good and games are good, so everyone's happy.
Amazing. Well, on our stream B, we have Fnatic and KC playing, and Fnatic just won first map 14-12. And it's looking good for Fnatic, so you guys might have a rematch for the grand finals in Master Serrano so soon in EWC. How do you feel?
I mean, of course, it's going to be exciting to play Fnatic again. I think they are a really strong team and they pushed us to our limits in Toronto. So yeah, if they win, I'm really excited to play them. But if KC wins, I don't mind playing them as well.
Absolutely. It's going to be an exciting match for sure. Congratulations again. But well, right now, this is PRX's first ever key crush in EWC history. This marks a big moment for you guys. So are you ready to do it?
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely, let's go. PRX are heading to
Hancurin.
their first ever key crush. So here we go.
Hancurin. Enak, kebanyakan. Belum. Yeah. Hey guys, thank you. See you next stream. Bye bye.